excited to be here today. As you can see, representing Power BI, even got the shirt on point for this. And of course, you're here today because you want to learn about how you can bring these two things together, Teams and Power BI. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the conference so far. Thank you so much for coming on and joining this today. I want to keep this interactive as well. So as I go along, use the Teams reactions that are there. Here you go, I'll give you a love heart if you like things that you see. And also pop your questions and comments in the chat. I'm taking watch of that. And of course, Sharon is on hand to help with that too. So let's go ahead and get started. A bit about me. Here we are. My name is Rishona Elijah, and I'm coming to you from Sydney, Australia today. I'm quite lucky. It's only 6 p.m. here. Usually when I do this conferences like this, it's usually overnight. So let us know, anyone here staying up overnight to watch this conference, you're really dedicated. My role, I work as a Power Platform trainer at Barhead Solutions. We're a Microsoft partner. So my role is to put out content and run training around the Power Platform, and Power BI is, of course, one of these tools. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I've put a QR code there to make it easier for you to find me. Drop me a message if you've come along to watch this session. And of course, if you're into social media and all the posting around the event, remember to use the hashtag TeamsNation so then we can find your posts and things like that and interact with you there. Like I said, let us know a bit about yourself too. I can keep a look at the chat here and make this a bit interactive if we can. I suppose we're all already Teams users here if we're watching this today, or maybe you're considering using it and you're not using it yet. I suppose we have people already using Power BI as well, and people who are completely new to it. And whereabouts are you coming from today? Here's what I'm going to take us through today. I'll just do a quick intro, first of all, into just what Power BI is all about, and then we'll get into it. The Power BI app that you can have in Microsoft Teams, how you can then use that to share content throughout. And if anyone is already using Dataverse for Teams, I'll take you through a bit of that. You're collecting your data there. How can you then connect it up so you can now get some insights and do some reporting based on that? And this is really cool. If you came along and if you're dedicated to the stuff, you might have come along to the Microsoft Business Application Summit last week. This was a massive feature release that Power BI now has called Power BI Goals. So in the week since that it was announced, and now I've had a bit of a play around with it. So I'm excited to show you some stuff that you can now do with this new feature called Goals. Really exciting stuff. So stay till the end and I'll give you a peek into what that is all about. So for those who are new to Power BI, just a bit of background into what this tool is. You use this tool to connect to your data and then get your insights from that. Wherever your data is living and in what sources, you can connect to it, bring it in, mash it all together, clean and model it in a way for you to get some insights from it. You can then share and get people to collaborate with you on these reports. Power BI Desktop, this is the tool, it's free for anyone to go and download and start building your reports out. The one we'll focus on today is Power BI Service. This is really the cloud side of that. So once you've published out your reports, where people can access it and then collaborate with you on it. Here is a report I made earlier. I quite like the colors I used for this, it's quite colorful. This is just the one that I'll take us through for an example for today. So, you've built your report out. You might have built this on Service or on Desktop, but now we want to put it in a place where we can get some more use out of it. And of course, Teams is really the obvious answer to this. If you're coming along today, most likely your organization is already using Teams. It's the place you start off your day, you spend your day there, you talk to your colleagues, share files, and now even you can build Power Platform solutions here. So we want to bring this experience to Teams, so you don't need to travel far to be able to access all of this stuff that you're getting. So I'll just switch over to my browser here to show you how you can get the Power BI app for Teams. So I've got this here. By the way, I'm in the browser, but of course, when you're doing this, you would be in the app that you have, just because, doing a meeting on Teams. So I've opened it up here. So down the side, you have all the apps. I've already got Power BI there, but you can just search for it and you should be able to find it there. Another tip as well is when you're there, if you right click on it, you can pin it. So, I got Power Apps there too. If you're familiar with Power BI Service, then you're probably realizing that this is Power BI Service, and that's essentially what it is. What we get with the Teams app, it's like an embedded version of Power BI Service, but we don't need to go off to a range of different websites to be able to access all this. It just sits within Teams where everyone's already going to have access to it. If you did want to go to the full website, there's this button here at the side, so that just opens it up in a web page and you can go there directly. A bit of a look around on what you can see here. Data sets, these are all the different data sets that you're connected to that you have access to here. If you want to manually create some already within Teams here, you can go there. And if you're new to this stuff, there's also the Learn tab as well. So it's a great place to check out to get further documentation, videos, some tips on training as well if you're looking to get stuck into this and start building your own reports out too. I'll just expand it there. So goals is the new one. We'll take a look at that later. And your workspaces are, the same workspaces you would have in Power BI Service. What you can do with the workspace is create a group and add people to it. If you have particular reports or things that you want your team to be able to collaborate on, you can create a workspace for that. So you can have this central place that you share all of this content with them. I'll just skip ahead here. I'm going to preempt some licensing questions I think we're going to get. So usually at this point, I think people are thinking, can I just do this on my Teams license, or do I need Power BI additional licensing to be able to do this? If you have Teams, then it's quite likely you already have access to Power BI Service. But with that version of it, you can only publish reports out to yourself to use. So you can put them out there, but you can't share it with anyone else, and that kind of defeats the purpose of putting it on to Teams. When it comes to the licensing, these are the ones that you want to look at if you're using it in Teams. Power BI Pro, people with this license, they can really collaborate on anything. They can access the reports, they can build on them as well. And then if you want to take a step up from that, there's also the premium level as well. For the purpose of today, you can do the same sharing and also that goals feature that we'll talk about later on today. All right, so let's say we have our report and now we want to put it in a team for people to access it. What we can do is we can create a workspace, and now we're going to give access to the people within one of the teams that we have. A quick way to do this is when you go and create a new workspace, you can then change the settings to say who should have access to it. And let's say I have a Microsoft Teams set up with all my sales reps. I want all of them to be a member and view this report that I've set up. So it's quite convenient this way. If you just start typing in the name of the team, you'll see you get an email address like that come up. That automatically adds all the people who are in that team to access the report. If we take a step back here, so just before that, before you publish out the report then, back on Power BI desktop, you can then see that as a workspace, a possible one. publish it out, and then what you get is that you can now see that report over in Teams and in Power BI service. Just to show you what that experience is like in Teams as well, I'll just head over to the report that I've published out. My one here, it's like a furniture sales report that I've created. In this one, it's my sales team. I'm keeping track of how many units my team has sold, what the revenue is, distributed it by what store, and who the sales rep is as well. As a member of this team, I can then come in and interact with it. So if I want to do any drilling down, filtering it, I can really use it as I would, as if I was looking at it in Power BI service. Editing the report as well. Now you can do things like create Power Apps and your own chatbots within Teams as well. So why not extend that to your reports and your dashboards too? If they have the right permission, they can come in and edit the report if you want to, build it here together or make any changes as well. I'll just switch back to the reading view for now. Now what I'll show you are some additional things that Teams has to be able to access these reports. It makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker to be able to put a conversation you might be having into context by linking a report. That search bar at the top of Teams? If you type in @Power BI, it gives you a quick way to access all the content that you have there. If you want to quickly find a workspace or a report like you can see there, just type it in the search like that, and then you get these quick actions like open and subscribe to it. This is pretty cool. This helps with putting conversations into context. Let's say if you've built a report out and now you want to discuss something or some trend that's happening on there. There are these two features. You can chat about it in Teams directly, and this other one, which is like a link preview that you can get. So it helps to start conversations that you might have with your teammates about the reports that you have. You would notice I got that chat in Teams. What that does is it takes like a screenshot of the filters or what I'm looking at exactly on this page. If I want to share it with someone, let's just say sales, let's post it there. And I can put in a message. Let's just say, take a look at this. I can hit share and that will go out. While I'm here, I'll do another one as well. Let's say if I had a salesperson that I might want to have a chat with about their performance. I can drill down into it and filter the report based on that. You can also share a particular visual based on that too. So each visual also has its own chat in Teams option there. Let's try that one out. I'll try put it in the same team. There we go, and let's go and check that out. Here we are. So you can see it's directly gone and posted a link to the report there. So anyone who's accessing it, when you click on it, you get it like this, exactly that snapshot of what you were looking at. So it's a great way to have these conversations and then have some context around it where people can easily go and check this out. The one that you see at the bottom there where it says furniture report, then open, this is another cool thing you can do. If you just grab the URL of a report or a dashboard or an app that you have in Power BI, you paste it into Teams, what you get is a card that looks like this. So it's like a preview to show people what the report is and then give them these quick actions from there too. All right, so we've taken a look at the Power BI app. The next thing here is, what if you want to stick the report in a channel rather than people needing to go into the app? What you can do is you can put it in a chat you might have with a particular person, like you can see in the picture here, or you can embed it in a channel as well. So I'll just show you how you can go about doing it with the channel. It's quite easy. Here you can access and see what different tabs you can add. With the Power BI one, you can see all the reports and all the workspaces that you have access to. Really what this does, it takes that similar experience but sticks it within the channel. So it helps with adding context into the place where people are working here. And yeah, you can see interacting with it there too. I'm just taking a look at that question there from Kariki. Hello there. Can I share a snapshot of the report dashboard to a team, like a JPEG view of it? You know what? I believe I've seen a preview of it, but I don't think it's possible yet. I know, I think it might be planned that when you paste it in, you do see a picture from it there, but not at the moment. At the moment, it's the link and then they can click on it directly to take them to it. But that's a good idea to be able to see the picture there too. Any more questions as I go along? Feel free to pop it in the chat. I think we had a couple earlier on, which I might come back to later if you have time. Alrighty, Dataverse in Teams now. Let us know if you're already using Dataverse for Teams or if you haven't heard of it before. This is really powerful stuff. Dataverse for Teams, it's where you can build your own relational database directly within Teams. You can go up to 1 million rows of data. You can build your Power Apps, your chatbots, all on top of this. If we build an app or a chatbot on top of this database we've created in Teams, of course, there's going to be a lot of information getting stored there that we want to make use of. So let's say if everyone is putting in leave requests or submitting like suggestions for the office with the app. What you want to do then is, of course, connect to the data sitting there to get some reporting from it. So I'll just show you an example of how you can go and access that. And yes, Danjo, free Dataverse functionalities within Microsoft Teams. I know, I love it too. If you're not already onto this, check it out. I'm pretty sure, of course, this is the Power Platform track for the conference. Definitely check out the other sessions because there's amazing stuff you can do with Dataverse and Teams and building your own apps and chatbots here too. What I'm doing at the moment is I've gone into Power Apps just so I can see those Dataverse tables that I've created already. This is the stuff I was connected to in that report. If this is the first time you're looking at it, you can see it's quite easy to go in and create your tables. You can easily go in, add new columns, and then enter data from here as well. So what I'll do is when you're looking at the tables, you have that Analyze in Power BI button. Go into that, it then launches Power BI where you can, this is the experience in desktop that most of you would be used to already. But what it does, it's going to automatically connect to these tables for us. And then we can do more building on that and build those reports out like the one that we were looking at earlier. You get a whole lot of tables though. You'll notice the ones with the prefix there, the one that I'm hovering over. Those are those custom ones that you've created. So the list may seem overwhelming, but if you go and look for those ones with the prefix, then those are the custom ones that you've created that you can connect to. You can load it directly like I did just there, but you will also notice there are heaps of columns you probably don't need and might want to get rid of if it's not as user friendly. But you can see already it's loaded my tables in there and I can now go ahead and start building my report. But just a tip for if you are going to go to the transform data step, once you've loaded it, if you open up the Power Query here, those are a lot of columns that you can see and only a few of them are probably the ones that you want to work with. That Choose Columns button, from there, that's a quick way to be able to pinpoint the ones that you want to add in. So once again, those ones with the prefix at the front, those are those custom ones that you've created. Of course, you can add in all of those other ones too, if you needed them as well. So, after some cleaning, you can end up with your nice looking tables like that to put it in a much more user-friendly way for people to look at it. All right, and I hope we've been looking forward to this part. Power BI goals. Like I said, this is a brand new feature that was announced last week, so I've had about a week to play around with it already. Goals, it's not something that's native to Teams and Power BI only. You can get this in Service as well, but it really makes the most of the concept of being able to collaborate with your teammates from a single place. So goals, it does require premium licensing on this. You can go ahead and start a trial if you want to give it a go for it. When you get started, there's some templates, there's some samples already there for you to take a look at. Really what Teams does, what Goals does, is that it gives you this place to keep scorecards and keep track of the metrics that people have. I'm sure we all have targets that we have in our jobs. It might be a sales target. It might be something like this, like hiring some new staff, increase morale of the company, whatever it might be. Rather than needing to go to a completely different system to track all this, Goals brings it all into Power BI, because likely this is already stuff that you're collecting data about and you have reports about. So Goals allows you to connect to that, and it gives you this scorecard to easily track and see how these goals are progressing. So this one here is one of the samples that you can get. I'll just show you how you can get started building it too. So you probably guessed the trophy looking symbol is the goals area. And I've already created a scorecard here for sales. So scorecard is basically just, is it sales related? Is it HR related? Like that. There are two ways you can manually track something. Sorry, there are two ways you can track something manually, or you can link it up to a data point that you have. Let's say if you're already doing some reporting on it. This one that I've done earlier, I'll just hit edit there. This is a manual one. So the idea of the manual is that every time it increases or I've done something, I can go and change or add a new amount to it to update it. I'm just going to add another one here. Let's add in a new goal. And let's call this one, it's going to reuse that same, sell more units, sell products. The owner is the person who's responsible for achieving this. It can be a person. You can also allocate it to a group of people. So, maybe if it's collective, your sales team needs to reach this target. I'll just put myself there for now. Let's say if it's currently at 7,000, I can enter that in. Or even better, I can get it to come from a data source, connect to data. What you get is you get all your reports that are there. And from here, you can pinpoint which is the value that you want to track. Perhaps, if I want to track the number of units sold, I can click on that. And then you can already see what it's done there. It's total up the amount of units sold. Another idea might be, maybe if you want to track the sales of a particular rep that you have, you can put some filters on it. So just select what their revenue is, for example. So I might just use that one and we'll connect to that. So you can see what it's done there. It's already gone ahead and it's automatically added that value into what the current status of it is. Let's put in a target. I might do 400K. Hope I put enough zeros in there. Oh, no, that's 4 million. Let's just leave it as 4 million. There we go. Bit unrealistic, but okay. So for your status field, this is where you can set, of course, a status on how it's progressing. Let's just say that one is at risk. There is some stuff to look forward to with this as well. If you're familiar with Power Automate, apparently they're also going to be giving you the ability to use Power Automate to, obviously automate this stuff to happen. So you can trigger events and things happening based on, something like a status change as well. Let's put that at risk. Start date, I'll just leave that due date there. And there we go, and save it. And as you probably noticed, you've got the comments button, so you can really go in at any point, add some comments about it, do a check-in if you want to update where you're at. So I really love this. It's really a central place to do all this tracking and get that overall view of how your team is performing. All right, we got a few minutes left, so I might go through and just take a look at the questions we have there. So can we play around with Power BI goals in our environments yet? You need to have a premium license to be able to do it. The way I've shown you today, because I don't have a premium license myself, I've just spun up a Office 365 trial that you can get, and I've added a premium license to it. I believe your admin might be able to allocate, or you might be able to sign up yourself for a trial premium license. If you have that, then you're able to go ahead and have a play around with it. If you don't have premium, you would have noticed you still can see the goals section there, but it won't allow you to create them yet. So yeah, starting the premium trial is a good tip if you want to take a look around it first. And let's see, we had a question earlier from Frederick.
Yeah, I was just going to point you to that one.
Oh, yep, I'm scrolling up, I'm taking a read. Thanks. Are there any good guides on how to create an analytics app for specific Microsoft groups, analytics in Power BI, or even ready-made configurable templates? Good question. You know what, I might need to take that one. I can't think of any at the top of my head, Frederick. After this, I might just do a search and I might pop it in the chat later. Or yeah, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I might see if I can find something there to be able to share with you. At the top of my head, I can't think of any, but good question. All right, so we have a few minutes here. Before we wrap up, just want to see if we had any final questions, thoughts. What do we think about this stuff? Give us a thumbs up for it. Clap if you're excited about goals and the other Power BI stuff that you've seen. Nice. All righty, great to see that. Glad you guys enjoyed it. So just to wrap up here, a few things. First of all, thank you so much for coming along, watching this session. Hopefully you've learned a lot and you're excited to go and try this out. Scan the QR code. You can go ahead and give your feedback about the session, rate it, and of course, stay on. This is really the start of the conference. There are heaps more sessions coming up, especially if you're interested in the Dataverse and the whole Power Platform things. Stay on the Power Platform track. It's really amazing stuff that you can now do with Teams and the Power Platform. Like I said, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I am on Twitter as well, but I don't use it as much, but I might go in there sometimes. And use the hashtag as well if you're coming along. So thanks for joining.